Hello and welcome to this virtual walkthrough of the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge Season 32 National Championship Tournament. Let's take a look at what we've done to take over the ballroom. First stop is COVID compliance. Much as you would expect in a virtual COVID compliance station, we have our compliance officer right here. He's waving hello, as well as an on-staff medic in the extremely unlikely event that anyone requires medical attention. And of course, we also have our hotel liaison, Sam, who's making sure that the crew is happy and fed all the time. To begin our tour, we're going to begin at the very beginning, which is contestant coordination. Right here, we have our two pods for pre-show. All of our contestants, before the show begins, come into here to have all of their tech checks to make sure their cameras are in place. We have Team A and Team B just to make sure that everything is dialed in. So before we get into the pre-green room, we know that all of our players are locked in with a strong signal. Right here, we have the nerve center of our actual game, the show computer with all of the screens that serve up the questions and content. We also have our Buzz In Live coordinator who makes sure that the players, when they buzz in, are receiving their proper due, because that's an essential part of what we do in the game. Taking us over here, we have the technological hub of everything that we do in the show. All of the inputs, all of the feeds, all of the audio, everything comes into these switchers and is then subsequently pushed out to any screen that is needed in order to facilitate the production of the show. And speaking of those players, we have our player production pods here, Team 1 and Team 2. Once they come out of pre-show, they come into this area and they receive their question content, they choose their categories, they wave at the camera, and we make sure that they are all show ready so that when we start the show, everybody's completely dialed in, locked in, and sure to be heard and seen. And hearing is what this next section is about. This is our audio station. We have checks, hi Nicole, and we have our whole audio board here monitoring every single feed that comes into our center to make sure that the levels are proper, we are clearly hearing everybody, and we are producing the best possible show given these odd constraints that we're working under this year. That takes us to our producer pod right here. Say hello, Steve. You can see that Steve has a master control. His large monitor is actually programmed, which happens to be me at the moment. But next to that, he has a multi-view that has all of the possible shots that could exist in the show. Our middle row is our contestants. And you can see that those contestants are composited into the game screens like this. We even have Brandon standing at attention, ready to be a part of the game. All of these screens are necessary to provide all of the shots that are used in producing the show. Making sure that the answers are tallied correctly is our judge, Dave Tuttle. And to ensure that our coaches have every opportunity to weigh in on any concerns that they may have, we have Lillian, who is in her own Zoom room just for the coaches. You can see in the background that we have the championship trophy set up in a secondary green room setting. That's to make sure that when the championship series is done and we are going to present the trophy, we have a nice shot waiting that can be imposed and presented during those closing remarks. Which brings us to the final part of our presentation. This is the main green room studio. And here's Brandon. As you can see, Brandon has his own bank of monitors which show him all the information he needs in order to run the show. All of the contestants are here. He's got the category chart with the questions. He has his own monitor for questions right here, and he has a program feed down below, which is currently Mike showing everybody else. Thank you for being such great sports, folks. And that brings us to the end of our presentation today. As you can see, we've all been working extremely hard to make sure that this COVID-compliant production is not only safe, but also maintains the high production values that have been a hallmark of the Honda Campus All-Star Challenge. And just like that, we're part of the show. Thank you so much for joining us, and now I'm ready to take your questions.